News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Before we get into the debate rules that were just released by ABC News, so they're much more specific than we've heard, I cannot wait to share this with you. It would be very important. James in Fort Worth has chimed in on the illegals, and it's going to be really cool because he's spurring a little more conversation on some more information that I had that I didn't share with you on that, because sometimes there's so much to share, it's, overwhelming. So James in Fort Worth, you go first, my friend. You've called, and I urge everybody else to call in as well. Stand by, James. Are you excited about Tren de Aragua? Do you believe that Kamala is telling the truth on her new border policies and aggressive enforcement? Do you think Trump would handle the border and this illegal invasion better than her? And how do you think she'd handle illegal immigration over the next 4 years as she's in charge of that and enforcement? And which candidate do you think will deport the actual 15 million illegals who have invaded this country in 4 years? And do you want that? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. And thankfully, the patient James is standing by in Fort Worth. James, WBAP.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
I lost you for a second.
It was because I took you too early. I was hanging with you, but I'm like, wait, hold on 1 second for me. Go ahead.
I was in the construction business. I got family in the construction business, and here's the take that I get from, and these are
by all means. Mm-hmm.
These are Hispanic people, and here's what they're saying. I said, look here, Dave. The thing is, when you hire these people, he said, what I can't do, one of them said, what I can't do, I can't go out there and bid these jobs like I used to bid. I can't get the money that I used to get because these people have developed to the point they own some of the biggest construction companies in the state.
Illegals.
They're going out here, Roger, correct. They're going out here and underbid. And I was listening to him because he's the whole group of these people are Hispanic. I said, look, when I go out to bid a job, and I bid it for the American way of living, I'm competing against groups of people who are living 10 and 15 to a house. And he said, I know that all of them don't do it, but a lot of them do it, Dave. I'm competing against them. Mm-hmm. He said, I can't make a living like that. He said, that's why a lot of construction companies have closed up. He said, when you get people that you call and they show out at your house and there's only one person that speaks English in the whole group of people, please don't hire them to do your job because you're undercutting somebody like me that needs the money as bad or worse than they do. So that's where it would hurt, Chris, our economy, because they own so much. They work in our fast food. They own restaurants. And a lot of them, the haircutting industry, I've gone into several of them and they only take cash. Well, see, I won't do business with you.
Right.
If you're taking cash only, like, Fuel City, you go in there, the people out there selling the stuff, they take cash only. Now, see, I'm not going to buy you stuff.
Right. Good.
You're not paying taxes. But that's how it would hurt us, Chris, in the long run.
Let me tell you, kind of counter that from what I have in front of me. Because it's not just about the people you're speaking of. And I'm not knocking you or disagreeing with you, or I'm not even going to get into your situation. I'm glad, but I'm certainly allowing you to say it and not going to mess with it. So I'll leave it unchallenged and not agree with it. But let's go to this next point. This is from the Wall Street Journal as well. The effects of the illegal immigration invasion under Joe and Kamala. 23% of Joe Biden and Kamala's illegals do not have high school diplomas. A quarter of them don't even have high school diplomas, compared to just 10% of the adult population. So they're almost 2.5 times less high school diplomas than our people. That is, and I wrote here as I read, I write notes, and I wrote slave class. This is the slave class I've spoken of. They're importing the liberal Democrats, Sept, etc. Second of all, the inflow of desperate foreign graduates, because some of these are foreign graduates, is helping keep the salaries of United States college graduates or high school graduates stuck at 2008 levels. That is, do the math. That's 16 years behind what the pay should be. That's what illegals are doing. Now it gets worse.
Exactly what I'm saying.
The illegal migrants compete with, quote, existing workers with less education, These are the African American and Hispanic populations, of which much higher chunks. Last time I saw stats, including recently, is this affects disproportionately Black and Hispanic Americans, legal citizens. The illegal migrants compete with existing workers with less education, and they put downward pressure on their wages. That is, and then hold on. The Journal said the surge in immigration could weigh slightly on overall wages and productivity. So then I wrote, not their slave class. Now I wrote, we become the slave class too. Sorry, I'm young, but this is the truth. We are becoming slaves.
Absolutely.
We are freaking becoming slaves under this administration. I put my name in there too.
I hope I ain't interrupting you, but man, I tell you what, it just makes my blood boil because they are bringing down the wages. I don't know at what year they are, but I know when I was in construction and we were, let's just say, decking a roof, that was one of the last things that we hung on to. We couldn't no longer put the rock up because they come in and took that away. We couldn't hang the doors and swing them for $30 a door anymore because they come in after we taught them how to do it, and they were doing it for $10 a door. Same thing with the decking. When they come pulling on it, it was a huge construction site. We were doing houses in Las Colinas. They come driving up. I told my brother, I said, dude.
They came driving up and were soliciting people's houses?
Yeah, no, they came up. There was a construction site.
They already had the job when they came up.
Yeah, they came driving up in the trucks, several of them in the trucks, and I said, brother, we will never deck another house here because they're going to undercut us to the point we can't afford to get out of the truck. We're not going to get $91 then. That was it then. We're not going to get $91 a linear foot anymore. I guarantee you that's not going to happen, man. A board foot for framing houses. It's not there, and that's what my family is saying. We can't afford to go out and bid these jobs, and he's trying to figure out other ways to earn income because there's so many of them coming in here right now.
Everybody needs to hear this. And so Kamala and Joe, in 4 years, have made us more of us, our black people, our Hispanic people, and our white people, including us, you and me, slaves.
Right.
We
Chris,
become
you
slaves.
Remember, dude, when I was a young man, the black people would come out. They had the construction jobs and things like that. You get the black men and their sons had these companies.
You know what I love? I do my own stuff at my new house, but I found out there is a black family that does landscaping, and I'm like, I mean, they're obviously not illegals, and I'm like, I want to hire them. It was so, it blessed me so much to see an African-American family having a business where it's so dominated by illegals. It made me so happy, and all I want to do is patronize them. I don't care what their politics are. I want to hire Americans to work on my home.
And I pay more.
Yeah.
I will pay, seriously, Chris.
Yes.
I will pay an American
yes, I
more
will.
Money to do, just like coming to Kroger's, I'll pay them a little more money because I know they got union representation. I get all that. I'll pay more to come here to a nice, clean store and purchase stuff from them. But I will, and I have done it. And my wife don't quite understand that. But I said, look here, love. Them men are trying to earn a living at an American wage. They're not living 27 people to a house. They're not eating bean, egg, and potatoes for lunch rolled up in a flour tortilla that they're making themselves. Chris, dude, I really think that we are in trouble with. And I hope I don't make you mad, brother.
You are an absolutely gold call today. No caller usually gets to spend a whole segment, but you're that good. You are literally telling us what's happening on the freaking ground on the streets of Dallas-Fort Worth. Go ahead.
Chris, when I was in Afghanistan, we would pull across the SIPRNet, pull stuff off the SIPRNet and secure that.
SIPRNet. So you served in the military. What you were?
Roger. I was in Afghanistan.
What did you do in Afghanistan?
I was combat arms.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for your service. Hey, listen. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, so you're like Tim Walz. You served in war.
Yeah.
Did you see combat in Italy like Tim Walz did?
I've seen it all over the world.
You
Just
saw
like
combat in Italy, like Tim Walz?
I tailed along behind him. Yes.
So you were behind him. He was the leader. You were covering his flank. I got you.
Yeah,
I feel you.
I can vouch for him. But here's the thing that just really infuriates people like us. But here's, because I got a head injury. I mean, they took portions of my brain out and put plates in my dadgum head.
I can tell. That's a joke. That's a joke.
They did.
Was that in Afghanistan?
Roger, yeah. They took
God bless you.
out of my right brain lobe. But anyway, they said...
You lost your right brain lobe thanks to serving for us.
A large section of that, correct, Roger.
God bless you.
Here's the deal. And then,
so you didn't die like Joe Biden's son did in combat. But you got injured. Okay, go ahead.
Right, but
by the way, hold on. No. Tim Walz. Did you get a Purple Heart like Tim Walz? He just got a Purple Heart today. It's on my Twitter feed. He got a Purple Heart today. He was in a car crash and he earned a Purple Heart to that. Go ahead.
Like Gore. But here's the thing.
Kamal's going to give him the Flying Cross medal, whatever it is. Go ahead.
I really fear this woman winning in the way, and I'm really kind of perturbed at Trump. I love him to death. But listen, I would not have picked a middle-aged white man. You have two qualified black. Tim Scott was the one I was praying for.
He should have been not the lead. Not the lead, the vice president. Yeah.
Yeah. My God. Yeah. I know, and I wish that Vance would say, you know what, out of dignity and respect, I'm not as qualified as Scott or Dr. Carson. I'm going to step aside.
Or Dr. Jill.
Or Dr. Jill.
Reach across the aisle and get not a Dr. Jill. I call her Nurse Jill or not a Dr. Jill. Get her in there. Bipartisanship. Joe, you're answering all the questions. You answered all the questions. All right, I got to roll. Thank you. Let me put you on hold. I want to get your email. Stand by. Get his email for me. All right. Next, ABC News released the debate rules. They're not the generic ones. They're very detailed, and I cannot wait to share this with you. And who does this redound to? Whose benefit? That's next. Woo! News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Thank you for making this show the success that it is, and I'm having a lot of fun with you tonight. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chris Crock Show. Okay, so ABC News has released their rules for the September 10th debate. And between Harris and Trump. And here's some of the specifics. That I will share with you, okay? Number one, it'll be moderated, and I was going to say debated by, but moderated by World News Tonight anchor, managing editor David Muir. ABC Live primetime anchor Lindsay Davis, those two. It'll be the first in-person debate and probably the last, in my humble. She'll do a failure. I think she's going to have a slight failure, or worse, probably a slight failure. She will not get what she needs to do to look decent. She is now beginning to crumble. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. And it's not going to get better because she is not qualified. But when Trump said today she doesn't know what the hell she's doing, quote unquote, he's accurate. And then he's got to just be able to back that up. He can say that, but then immediately say why. Boom, 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 boom. The first two policies she's delivered, including one yesterday, it is bad. Even Mark Cuban and liberal Democrat Ro Khanna, who's a spokesperson for her, have both ripped to shreds a lot of what she's done. Mark was trying to excuse it, but he admitted it would be a disaster for the whole stock market, which I'll play audio of that in a little bit. But here's what I got for you. I have this. The debate will be debated, it'll be moderated by those two guys. And here's what it's going to say. They're going to have 90 minutes, and I believe she's going to, by the way, sorry, I got interrupted by something. That's my fault. I apologize. But she is going to want to do a second debate after this, and Trump should say no. He could say, no, I tried to do it. I offered 3. We're done. because she's not going to do well under these rules. Microphones will be live only for the candidate whose turn it is to speak and muted when their time belongs to another candidate. We knew that, but it's more. Only the moderators will be permitted to ask questions. So if Kamala does it or he does it, they're not going to do it, and they're not going to let him respond. If they do, and I thought about this today, they're going to break the rules to try to make Trump look bad. You watch. But if they do, they're violating the rules. And if I was Trump, I'd say, you literally had these rules. Now, you're not going to do this for me? Or I'm not gonna. No, I see them breaking it because they so want to nail them, but they really won't because their rules are in stone. They put this is ABC News website I'm reading from. Coin flip was held on Tuesday to determine the podium placement and the order of closing statements. Trump won the coin toss. He chose to go in the order of statements. So he will be offering the closing statement, the last one. Harris selected the right podium position screen, i.e. the left stage, stays left. That's good. You want the left stage. I think the way we read, left is more dominant. But here's the problem. She's going to be dominant and she's going to look bad. You watch. Not horrible, but slightly bad is my prediction. She will not do all right. Even if it's like she thinks she broke even and that's all she needs to do, she doesn't. She needs to look good, and she will not overall. The impression will not be good. There will be no opening statements. Closing statements are 2 minutes per candidate each. Each candidate gets 2 minutes to answer the question. What does that mean? She can laugh a lot, but she has to fill 2 minutes. And if they do it the same way it was done on the first debate, CNN did it, they don't just let you answer the question and you got 30 seconds and then move on. They will make you say, you have 2 minutes to answer. You still have 30 seconds. Remember they said that to Joe? If they don't do that to her, I would say, CNN did the debate with the debate rules and they said she has 30 more seconds. I'd like to make sure the rules stay in place. I have 2 minutes. She has 2 minutes. I insist. That's what I would say. Not be a jerk about it. If they refuse to do it, then I'd be like, we have no rules. What other rules are going to break? I follow rules. Do the rules. Okay. But you don't want to be whiny. Each candidate, 2 minutes. Candidates will stand behind podiums for the duration of the debate. No props, no written notes. Kamala wanted written notes. Each candidate given a pen, a pad of paper, and a bottle of water. Campaign staff may not interact with candidates during commercial breaks. It'll air on not only ABC, but everybody will be carrying it, including WBAP and you and me, and we'll react immediately thereafter at 9:30. It's so exciting about that, seriously. So that is it, and I think this is going to redound to Kamala's benefit. This will help her. Sorry, my brain fart again. Trump's benefit, because she can't snipe him. She can't say, I'm speaking. And she could snipe at him, but he will not say anything back because he can't. Even if he does, you won't hear it, as you recall that CNN example. All right, I have so much more on this, the latest polls and how it's crumbling for Kamala, and I really mean that. You tell me, who do you think these rules advantage? Who does it advantage? Who do you think these rules advantage, Kamala or Trump, and how do you see this debate playing out? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. The wheels are falling off the tracks already for Kamala. That's next. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. The rules are in from none other than ABC News, who's hosting the debate in, let me think, tonight's Thursday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Is that math right? Tuesday night. Is that 6 days or 5 days? I don't know, whatever. I think it's 6. 5, yeah, I think it was 6 yesterday. What do I know? All right, here. Trump won the coin toss, so he's chose to go last on the closing statements instead of getting podium choice. So she chose the left side as we're watching. She'll be on the left. But I think it's going to be bad because she's going to do, I think, slightly poor. Not bad, like a horrible, like, oh my gosh, that could happen. But I think she'll do slightly poor, and which is going to make it worse. Also, she did not get to mute the mics. It's muted the mics, so she didn't get to be able to shout over him. That's not going to help her. And no opening statements, no notes. So there you go. Who do you think these are going to favor, these rules? Who will they advantage, and how do you see this debate playing out? I see it, as I said, that she'll do slightly poor, which is going to continue the downward spiral that she's already in right now. It's a slow one. It's like the Hindenburg of Joe Biden's campaign that I told you would be, and it was. It was a slow death, and it was exciting to watch the slow death of Joe Biden's campaign as it will be for Kamala, because I offer you, and we're going to get into the business stuff a little bit later, I offer you her business proposals, both of which that she shared. The first one was price controls. The most liberal of liberal, Washington Post, New York Times, and CNN destroyed it as socialist, and quote, if your opponent's calling you a communist, it's best you don't actually do stuff like this, they said. It's best you don't make policies like this. And that's what she did. And then she claims, oh, no, it's gouging. It's just about gouging. It's not about, just when there's gouging. She lied. She changed it. That's not what you said. And the Washington Post and CNN and all this, they didn't get it wrong. They read what you said, and they heard what you said, and they read it. And it was Venezuela-style price controls. Number two, you have Ro Khanna, your spokesperson, who represents the Silicon Valley as a liberal Democrat, and he railroaded her second economic policies about taxing gains, unrealized gains, and also some other stuff. And then that was yesterday. I played that for you. And today, Mark Cuban went on, and he literally said she's going to destroy the stock market with this. And they tried to excuse it, and CNBC schooled her. You'll hear that in a little bit too. But the polling, Frank Luntz pollster, Kamala Harris' national lead was 0.5 in the previous Emerson poll. Now it is not 0.5. It was 5 points. Her lead national was 5 points in the last Emerson poll. Now it is 2. She's falling apart, as I said, little by little, slowly but surely. Frank Luntz also said this today, pollster. We are 60 days, and he does not like Trump. We are 60 days away from Election Day, and Kamala Harris's website still has 0 pages about policy. That is not a good strategy for winning over unfamiliar voters who want to find out more about your plans if elected. He also said this today. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. This campaign rally trend from 2016 is resembling the current media interview trend in 2024 about Hillary. In the final 70 days of the race, Trump made 106 campaign stops and Hillary made 71, just like Kamala. Yes. And then he put hashtag Dem autopsy, as in she's already dead. Number 2, Frank Luntz said, number 4, whatever. He says Trump-Vance ticket has done a combined 38 interviews since August 6th compared to only 1 for Harris-Walz. He says this could end up being like Trump holding 106 campaign rallies while Hillary Clinton did 71 in the final 70 days of the race. And then he had a graphic. It's on all this is on my Twitter feed, at Chris Crock Show. Follow me. And it shows the dots as they crisscross the country, and you see 3 times the dots for Trump as what's her name, as Kamala. So the disaster is already unfolding now. And then this, Nate Silver, the revered Democrat liberal pollster, these are the percentage of chances of winning. It skyrocketed again today. Trump's chance of winning is the highest. It is now at 60.1% chance of Trump winning. 60% chance that Trump wins as of right now, today. Silver says Harris's chance is only 39.7, and he's 60.1. Remarkable 20.6 point advantage on the chances of winning today. Pennsylvania, his chances of winning are now 42% higher than Kamala's. In Arizona, this is beyond unreal. In Arizona now, he's almost at 50% more chance of Kamala winning. 50-point advantage about chances. In North Carolina, it's the same thing. It's almost 50 points higher that Trump wins. In Nevada, it's freaking 14-point advantage as far as the percentage-wise. Michigan, it's a tie. And Wisconsin, it's a tie. I believe Kamala will probably win or closely lose Michigan and Wisconsin. You may see by the time this election fully happens, I honestly think you could see a semi-landslide. I'm not predicting that today. I'm predicting a solid win where it's close, but it's solidly where no cheating margins are there. It's everything I've been telling you. That's what I believe is going to happen today, because every policy she's done, everything of her instincts is a failure. Trump today, we'll get into this later, did his policy speech in detail in economic policy today, in detail. We're going to talk about that later. I'm so excited to tell you about this, but let me just tell you this. The Economic Club of New York, which is the elite of New York, does not like Trump. They embraced his policies and they cheered him on today. They did. And they don't like a lot of his stuff. Understand closely. His policies were detailed. That he won them over. So I got more stuff, but I'm asking you a few things. Who do you think this debate will advantage now that we know the full rules? And who do you think is going to win the election as of today? It could change in a week, could change tomorrow, but I'm telling you right now, Trump's winning this race. I have confidence in saying that today. What do you think? 800-288-WBAP is our number. We got 4 minutes. Lines wide open. Chime in right now. 800-288-9227. 800-288-WBAP. Look at this from NBC News. Their top pollster and political guy, Steve Kornacki, MSNBC and NBC. These are Trump haters. He shows the 2016 Hillary and the 2020 Biden polling average, how they totally were over the top for Democrats versus what the final results were. In 2020, it said Biden would win. 538 poll said 8.4 Biden and 7.2 Biden from Real Clear Politics average. It was literally half that when he won. So it was half what it was. Clinton, 538 had 3.9%. She would win. Real Clear Politics average of polls 3.2%, and in fact, this is the national polling averages and the presidential elections. The election result was Clinton up 2.1. I guess that's the national popular vote because she obviously didn't win. And then the current battleground state polling averages, keeping in mind that it's probably half of this. It shows Kamala up by 0.2% in Arizona in 538, and it shows Real Clear Politics Trump up by a half point. What does this mean? Trump's going to win by probably a point as of right now. Georgia shows Harris up in 538, 0.4% up, and Trump up 0.2% in Real Clear Politics, meaning Trump's going to probably win by a half point to 1 point as of today in the averages. It's going to get much worse for her. Michigan, she has a 2.3 and a 1.1 respectively, so she's probably going to win that, or it's tied actually as we're hearing. Nevada, it's a tie in Real Clear Politics, and 538 has Harris up 0.7, meaning Trump wins Nevada by 1 point probably as of today. It's trending worse though. North Carolina, Trump up in both slightly. He's going to win both solidly, as I've told you that. Anyway, so it goes on and on. It's bad. She's not winning, and she won't win. Now, that's my take. And we're going to get into the business stuff later. Next, the Georgia shooting. The father arrested. Exactly what we all yelled at and called for yesterday in our rage and our hurt and our anger. He is arrested. He bought him the AR-15 for his birthday, and he apparently let him have it unlocked. He said, last year the FBI said you were going to kill people, and the sheriff said it. Here's a gun. Go frickin' kill those people. It was the second day of school. You don't know them, son. Kill those, excuse my language, kill those bastards. We don't even know who they are. Kill them, son. Kill them. Find one in the bathroom as one was hiding, and he killed them. The special ed student. Kill them all, son. Here's the gun. I bought it for you. You can't? I did it for you. Kill him. He's in jail tonight with his son. Hell yeah. That's what I say. All right, you and I react to that, and the full information is next at 45 after the hour. It's Chris Crock Show, WBAP. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Just some stunning turn of events. First of all, the father of the terrorist shooter in Georgia has been arrested. He has been charged with 2 counts of murder and 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 2 counts of second-degree murder, 8 counts of cruelty to children. And why? Because 9 others were shot, 2 teachers and 7 students. That's where the cruelty to children comes. 2 students and 2 teachers are the 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter because he didn't know his son was going to kill it. And 2 counts of second-degree murder, which is fantastic to put on this man. He's in jail tonight, and let him rot in jail. And he probably won't be death penalty eligible. And they probably did that purposely because no one's going to give the father a death penalty because he didn't pull the trigger. But they'll give him a severe sentence. So I think there's a lot of strategy in there, in a good way. Like it's and that's probably all they can get him with. And I do count on at least half the charges being dropped because dropped by the not by the prosecution because they put it, but being dropped in a plea deal or the judge striking those, or not the jury not convicting. But it's all designed to, typically, as you know, when you didn't do it, but you're an accessory, to get you as harsh as possible. They don't need cooperation. It's a simple case, right? They want to punish and do right justice properly. Okay, more. His mugshot comes out, and there's going to be sick, deranged, not deranged. There's going to be children in suburban houses, not sick and deranged, but that will think he's cute. I looked at it, and I'm going to tell you that right now. There's going to be some pathetic social media girls that are going to say they think he's cute. You watch. That happens sometimes with this, and not that they support the shooting, but they're going to say he's so cute, and they're going to make it just to get people to react to them and react, like, share, because of this cult of social media that are not. Well, some of our kids are victims of. Okay. We also have more. My questions for you are: would you? Oh, we found out something else. They had the teachers' IDs on the back of every ID. There's a button you can push for an immediate emergency. Everybody immediate emergency. I don't know if it's for just shootings, but it's and that was triggered by one of the teachers, and that got the reaction time. Let me tell you this though. Listen closely to this. The cops. He did not surrender and end it. It didn't end for 6 minutes. I want to let you know there were 2 cops on duty in the premises. 6 minutes is what it says that they ended it by. 6 minutes. What does that mean? They could not stop it. I mean, he shot 13 people. He killed 4 and he shot 9. Do you understand this? So that was with 2 cops in the building. What does that tell you? That's not enough. And you cannot afford to, and you're not to put a cop on every freaking. Don't give me there's some people that mean well, but they're so freaking ridiculous. Well, you put a cop in every hallway. Get out of here. Go flush that turd down the drain. The teacher in the classroom next said he prepared himself in his mind to die, and he had a pair of scissors in his back pocket that was his weapon. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's a freaking joke. That's pathetic. That's a disgrace. What do you think? An AR-15 versus a freaking pair of scissors? You want that guy protecting your kid like that? I want him to have a gun. Because that kid doesn't think the teachers have a gun. He doesn't know which ones have a gun. Like in Texas, any district that doesn't have it should have it. In this state and in that state. Because you know what? You tell me. Would you want that teacher that had a freaking pair of scissors to have a gun instead? I would. Wouldn't you? I don't trust him. Yeah? If he's vetted, armed, and appropriately trained and armed? If he's qualified under the laws of a state and he wants to? And by the way, the ones that don't want to need to be told where they're going to go, not why. They need to go where they're going to go because they're going to group. They need to group the ones that are don't want to carry, which is fine. I'm not here to bully them. And you need to be put by people that are carrying, and you won't know why or who's carrying and who's not, which ones. That's what they need to do. That's what I want for kids. Look, my grandkids, which aren't even here yet, but in 10 years or so, whenever I have 5 to 10 years, I have grandkids. That's what I want. That's what I want. Okay, he bought him an AR-15 for his birthday, and that's how he did this, and that's what he did. So the son and father are in jail tonight. Yeah, rotten hell, and they're going to give his son the needle, which they should. God bless Georgia. They don't play around with that stuff. All right, so I got a lot more on this, but here's my questions for you. Would you have preferred the teachers in the classrooms where this shooting took place, with that terrorist that was shot up? Would you have preferred for them to have been armed? Would you have preferred for those teachers that were shot up or in the classrooms where it was shot up for them to be armed? If they were trained properly and wanted to carry, would you support that? Would you want that for your kids if a shooting was happening in that classroom? And do you think common sense gun reform that the left, that Joe Biden and Kamala, forget Joe, he's done, he's not even with us in his mind. Do you think common sense gun reform, as Kamala wants, she called for it? Do you think common sense gun reform would have helped? Using the buzz term of the left. And what would have helped? It wouldn't have helped. Because a grown man who has no conviction on his record, who now sits in jail for helping a murder or kill, bought it for him. None of your laws would help. Well, crazy, you didn't have an AR-15. Oh, let's go to Virginia Tech, where Chung Ho Shui had 2 handguns. And he shot and killed 32 people, I think it was. Yeah! Let us have handguns. But no weapon of war. Okay, then he would have killed more with handguns, possibly. Yeah! Get out of here. There was no Democrat, liberal, common sense gun reform lie and gun grab that would have stopped this. So that's my questions for you. Lines wide open, chime in right now. Would 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227, would you have preferred the teachers in the classrooms that were shot up to have been armed if it was your kid in there? And do you think common sense gun reform, by the left and taking away guns would have helped? What do you think would have helped in this case? That's it. 800-288-WBAP. The other thing is, coming up at 3 minutes after the hour, we're going to get into the thing I'm most excited about, which is Mark Cuban this morning was on a Squawk Box on CNBC trying to defend Kamala's second economic policy she unveiled. It was another turd that she unveiled, and he was trying to polish it this morning, and it was a disgrace how it was handled by the CNBC anchors on Squawk Box. They were like totally not having it, and Cuban had to admit it would literally, in his words, destroy the stock market. That's her second big policy. This woman's done. Okay, and Trump unveiled his economic policy today in New York City in front of a bunch of Republican businessmen that don't like him. I'm not making that up. Charles Gasparino, the 30-year veteran reporter for Fox News Business, said it was a hit. They loved it and they were clapping. They loved all of what he said, and he gave specifics this time. That is next at 3 minutes after the hour, plus your call on the shootings. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227.